Hej, då kommer del 2 i vår Clockwork City-serie. Då skulle vi prata med Protektor Luciana Pullo, så vi sätter igång med det.
This Rainer Vanos made some very bold claims. If you have evidence of Constable Baldon's crimes, I suggest you produce it. Huh, you're more resourceful than you look. Little wonder Devaith chose you as his companion. Set knows he needs the help. I'll hold Baldon under guard until I've had an opportunity to review the evidence. As for you, you're free to go.
Lucian, I'd like to ask the constable a few questions when we return to the Basilica.
Don't trouble yourself, Aruni. You know how persuasive I can be.
I do. That's what worries me.
Do your worst, you tin-legged hag.
Set help you if she does, constable.
Vi får prata med nästa då.
That fool has no idea what he's in for. Live uncomfortably and learn, I suppose. Oh, most certainly. Baldon can't have accomplished all this by himself. Erasing records, accessing derelict sections of the fundament. These aren't the acts of a simple mer. Someone helped him. Now it's just a matter of finding out who. I do, one way or another. For now, let's celebrate your achievement. You showed initiative, creativity, bravery, all qualities befitting a servant of Set. You shall have my sponsorship. Of course, each of them played a role in your success, and each of them will share the rewards. Go speak to the Clockwork Registrar in the Chancel of Records. It will add your name to the codices, and you'll be one of us. Again, you have my thanks.
You'll regret this. Mark me,
Ja,
Proctor.
då fick vi ett nytt uppdrag. Och det var här.
Get this tarnished piece of scrap out of my sight. Enjoy prison, you
Ja,
skeeving
det är väl
brat.
bara vi springer ut. Får vi se var vi hamnar. Det är tydligt nere i kloaker eller något. Ja, då får vi springa till nästa hus då. Vi ska på övervåningen där vi tror jag. Eller övervåning. En etage upp kanske jag ska säga. Ska vi läsa och se? Nej, det gick inte. Bokhylla i vart fall. Det har varit inga lårböcker där. Vi pratar med han.
By the word, I wind the gears. Please state your business or depart. Welcome, potential resident. Please speak your birth name, followed by the name of your sponsor.
Dreaming. Torchbugs. Overturned jar.
Sponsorship confirmed and archived. The light of knowledge, Sotha Seal, welcomes you to the Brass Fortress. Go forth and create.
Ja, då fick vi en sponsor visst.
Say that all worked out splendidly.
Där har vi en ryggsäck. Ja. Då får vi ett nytt uppdrag här. Så vi får prata med han också.
As one journey ends, another begins. I imagine there's much more to discover here in Sothasil's Clockwork City. I can finally begin my exploration in earnest. Now that we've earned our citizenship, I can apply for excavation permits, antiquity transportation licenses. Oh dear. Come to think of it, I might not be able to begin for quite some time. They proved useful. Raynor's theories need some work, and Kira's refusal to listen to reason caused me no small measure of anxiety. But on the whole, satisfactory. Provided that they follow my lead, I might call on them again in the future. I value your service and partnership, Assistant. Please take this as a token of my appreciation. If I understand the bureaucracy correctly, I may be here in the Brass Fortress for a while. Feel free to seek me out, should you require my aid.
Ja, da fikk vi en skill point med det uppdraget. Spellkritt, ja. Ja.
There you are. Good. We have much to discuss.
Do they fear? Here? It is a true pleasure to meet you.
Yes, I imagine it is now, and I'll be on your way.
Yes. Well, be seeing you, Assistant. Good day, Lord Fear.
Come, we need to talk. So you're a citizen now. Well done. I heard something about a constable tossing people down sewer drains. Even in this shrine to knowledge, drooling idiots bumble their way to power. Ludicrous. Moving on. I require your services once more. It's Sotha Seal. Shortly after you and I parted company, I sought him out to discuss our Daedric artifact. I fear something is askew. His habits, his diction, the timbre of his voice, they've all changed, albeit subtly. Worse. Initially, I dismissed it as boredom, fatigue, or even the first signs of senility. But now, after observing him at length, I can say with certainty, this is not the Sotha Seal I know. There's Daedric mischief here, and we will root it out. We will leverage your hard-earned citizenship to make inquiries. First, I will make it known that in light of your recent exploits, I offered to take you on as my aide, an offer you eagerly accepted. As the most powerful mage in the Brass Fortress, I find it difficult to have proper conversations with common folk. They grow silent at my approach, then whisper as I leave, an appropriate but sadly uninformative display of deference. Indeed. It's commonly understood that servants grumble about their masters, loudly, to those they consider equals. Ask them about Sotha Seal's recent behavior. I'm confident we'll find something of value tucked away in their churlish complaints. You have questions, of course. Ask what you must. The forces at work here are cunning indeed. You should be prepared for anything. He is inscrutable, but he's also unflinching. Seal always moves deliberately, quietly, and one step at a time, like clockwork. I have never once seen him divert from his course. Until now. In the short time we've been here, he has twice adjusted city patrol routes and delivered 3 revisions to the fortress charter. Trust me when I say this is unprecedented. Sotha Seal never meddles like this. That's for you to discover. Don't bother speaking with members of the Congress. Varuni's faith in Sotha Seal is unbreakable. Chancellor Gascoigne resents any threat to the status quo. And Luciana, well, let's just say she's been less than helpful. Luciana resents my presence, but she's no fool. I go where I please, when I please. An open confrontation between us would likely leave hundreds dead. So do not trouble yourself. She will not stand in the way of our investigation. Well, you've met Varuni. She's pleasant, without being vapid or boring. Then again, her doe-eyed faith in Sotha Seal turns my stomach. I find religious attachments repulsive. My thoughts on Luciana are well known. As for Gascoigne... Gascoigne serves as Chancellor. He commands respect, but suffers from the peculiar character flaw of demanding praise at all times. Adulation. A sad fixation indeed. He holds great power, but it's his petty obsessions that make him dangerous. Be wary.
Ja, det uppdraget fick vi här. Springer ut ser det ut som. Vi ska upp där, okej. Ja. Vi får hoppa på hästen och springa dit.
You'll tell me this instant if there's truth to these rumors.
Oh, Minne won't shut up about you.
You will
Där springer
tell
vi
me
fel,
if
vet
this
du.
portal exists. This could be my one chance to get home.
This is your home now.
You're Lord Fear's newest steward, huh? Can we talk later? If I don't finish this lamp inventory, Gascon will feed me to the fabricants. Yeah, Gascon must know how much I love doing paperwork. A few days ago, Sotha Seal ordered us to rip out all the lamps in here and replace them with less efficient ones. What kind of sense does that make? Who wants weaker lamps? A bunch of factotums loaded them onto a dolly and dumped them somewhere in the mechanical fundament. Hey, I know that look. If you're looking to poach a free lamp, don't bother. Gascon made us slag them all. And that's not even the worst part. Half the old switches don't work with the new lamp, so we've had to manufacture new switches, and half the time the switches get installed backwards, which means we have to do it all over again. Even the factotums don't know what they're doing. And don't even get me started on the lamp assembly. Sotha Seal could have turned the fabricators to make the new lamps with a flick of his finger, but he demanded that we do it instead. Do you have any idea how complex the fabricators are?
Okej. Först ringprat med nästa dag då.
The Clockwork City welcomes you.
So you're Devathir's new auxiliary, eh? Tough luck, friend. I've heard he's an insufferable bastard, but at least he's not Sotha Seal. Better to be turned into a guar than to serve the Clockwork God. Not anymore. In the old days, sure, he was easy to please because he was never around. These days, he changes his mind about something every night. Constant meetings, new dictums daily, adjustments to factotum patrols. It's a nightmare. Trust me, this is unprecedented. I'm afraid something's wrong with his enhancements. Like he's having trouble regulating. He's a different person, I swear. Don't tell anyone I said this, especially Gascon. Blasphemy doesn't go over well nowadays. Yes, speaking ill of a god never turns out well. In the old days, he'd take it in stride. Commit your small blasphemies, he'd say. The fire of doubt turns ignorance to steam. But not anymore. This place is becoming more like Mournhold every day. Right. I'm sure you have plenty of work to do for Lord Fear. He's back a few days and already burying you in paperwork, no doubt. Take care of yourself, friend.
Det ska jag verkligen göra. Ja. Vi får... Vilken ny där. Vi springer dit då. Ja.
So you're the one Devath tapped to be his aide in the Brass Fortress. Sorry to hear that. Provost Varuni's ancestors hail from House Telvanni, just like Lord Fear. But honestly, they couldn't be more different. Not as bad as you might expect. She's young, youth comes with impatience, but I've never felt unfairly judged, and she's generous with her praise. Honestly, if I have the choice between serving Varuni or Sotha Seal, I'd take Varuni every time. Now more than ever, I don't pretend to understand his motives, but he's never been so demanding. One example? He insists that we turn all the lights down before he enters a room. Do you have any idea how difficult that is? It's maddening! Huh, flipping switches. That's rich. Each lamp has its own switch, and some lamps have multiple switches. And if that isn't bad enough, some switches control multiple lamps. He's a god, I know, but it shouldn't take a genius to turn on the lights. Don't even get me started. Varuni might demand some obscure tome in the middle of the night or chide someone for leaving oil on the floor, but that's the worst of it. Sotha Seal exiled an auxiliary last week because she forgot to switch off a lamp. Right, don't let me keep you. I can't imagine how demanding Devaith Fear must be. Better you than me, that's for sure. Keep your nose to the cogs and you'll be fine. Now if you'll excuse me, I'm off to flip 24 switches again.
Det verkar som ett roligt arbete.
Were you treated well by the menials? I assume they battered you with complaints. What have you learned? Yes, well, I could have told you that. That's why I sent you here after all. What kinds of demands? Be specific. The lamps in the locutorium, yes? The large assembly room over there? The auxiliaries and factotums have been laboring in there day and night ever since we arrived. Curious. What could lights have to do with this? Well, there's only one way to find out. Impressive. I assumed I'd have to explain it to you. Of course, this requires a functional lamp. I assume he ordered them destroyed. Speak to that high elf of yours, Neramo. The dark elf as well. We need one of these lamps, repaired and operable.
Ja. Få tag på sådana lampor då. Då ska vi dit, ja, rakt fram.
You'll tell me this instant if there's truth to these rumors.
I have nothing to say on the matter, Auxiliary.
You will tell me if this portal exists. This could be my one chance to get home.
Gra, Ijas. This one
Vad
is
kom vi in i för
confused.
väg nu då? Det var ju totalt fel.
The water wizard
Du
here
kunde
has
missa
seen
så
around
illa.
the city has been
Ja, så är det. Den är en ny stad.
I hope to see you again, Assistant. Pray tell, what did Devaith Fear have to say? I fear that he and I might have gotten off to a poor start. Did he ask about me? Any mention of my many exploits? Raynor? Surely this is something I can handle myself. Impressing Devaith Fear could greatly increase my standing in the Dwemerich scholarly community. Tell me, what does Lord Fear ask of me? Us? He just wants us to build a lamp? What an odd request. No matter. I would be happy to offer my ample expertise, provided you let Devaith Fear know that I did so. First things first. I need to study one of the lamps we're supposed to recreate.
Börjar han på, ja. Det gjorde han. Ja, här kan du väl studera en.
Some kind of tubular housing. Probably meant to protect a glass interior? Difficult to say.
Ja, det är väl lika långt att springa bägge hålla. Vi får bara ta ett håll.
A complex filament of some kind. The weaving on this fiber. It must be machine-made. I should be taking notes.
Ja, det borde du verkligen göra. Ryker och grejer, vet du. Oj, oj, coolt.
Some kind of compressor. For funneling a gas, perhaps? Interesting.
Det var verkligen intressant.
Look at the apertures on this. It must be some kind of modulator that changes the nature of the light. Fascinating.
Verkligen.
Compressors, filaments, housings, modulators. Yes! I think I understand what these discarded lights have in common. Unlike the other lamps, these compress some kind of geodic gas into metal tubes, then modulate the light to create another kind of illumination that mortal eyes cannot see. Invisible light! Remarkable! The potential applications are limitless. Yes, with Rayna's assistance, I believe we can recreate this lamp without much difficulty. Of course, you'll need to procure the requisite parts. These are all broken beyond repair. What do you plan to do with this light, exactly? You plan to do what? Oh dear. Well, this seems like a terrible idea, but I shall rely upon you and Lord Fear to protect me. Here's a list of the components I'll need. Once you've acquired them, meet me in the Hall of Refined Techniques. Good luck.
Ja, vi följer ut och dödar lite grejer ser ut som då. Så de kommer till mig. Vi tar så många som möjligt på en gång. Ja, där fick vi en par betar, vet du. Ja, inte healen då. Här har vi en kristall då. Den får vi gå och ta, vet du. Ja, han har gått sönder den. Vi dödar den då. Hoppa ner där. Där har vi kistan förresten. Den måste vi absolut ha först. Det är fler etage här då. Ja, vi hoppar ner och tar den där kristallen med. Den har vi här då. Ser jag kistet till där. Han är inte så dum, den där skillen den får i scrying eller om det är excavation som lyser upp kistet lite grann. Det är lite lättare att se dem. Vi tar lite årög. Det tar ett år dem. Jaha. Det var lite vitsigt kanske. Ja, vi får springa upp här då. Kom liksom ner i källaren här helt plötsligt. Ja, det är väl lika bra döden. Eller så hoppar han på oss helt ja. ut här då kanske? Nej, det är inga dörrar här. Nej, det var ju inga dörrar. Oj, kistet, den måste vi ha. Vi får stöpa det här, vet du. Han hoppar runt här, svinner, vet du. På vattnet. Oj, gör det. Ja, han stannade där. Nej, det gjorde han inte. Vad jobbigt då. Vad är det? Vad är hopping runt då? Kunna kistor ner om inte annat. Kommer jag upp här då? Här kommer jag upp för det. Här har vi lite trapp. Det är bok till det. Ja. Vi får springa ut. Det kunde vi i vart fall inte göra. Ja, vi ska tillvis ut då, ur stan. Ja, vi springer på så får vi se.
I just don't know. I always expected Clockwork City to be a bit more hospitable.
We need not the grease of luxury to find our sequence here.
Still, you never tire of it? The smell of oil or the...
Nej, det skulle vi inte. Här har vi ett uppdrag, ser jag.
I just don't know. I always expected Clockwork City to be a bit more hospitable.
We need not the grease of luxury to find our
Vi
sequence.
ska få överse det kanske.
Still, you never tire of it? The smell of oil or the taste of gruel?
Där står han, vet du. Just det, det såg jag inte en gång.
Now there's the look of someone on the hunt for something specific. You've come to the right place, friend. I've got a bit of everything. What can I get you? As a matter of fact, I acquired some of those just a few days ago. Apparently, someone's tossing out the old lighting to make way for the new. They're not easy to come by anymore, though. What's your offer?
Ja, vi brukar den här skillen. Så betalar vi ingenting.
Varuni Arvel? Well, that changes everything. Any friend of Varuni's is a friend of mine. Why don't you take this tube on the house? Just let Varuni know how helpful I was, all right? And that I'm pretty good looking. Well spoken too. Deal?
Det är en deal, vet du. Nu då, ska vi in där då. Ja. Det blir mycket springing fram och tillbaka här.
you've returned. Excellent. Raynor and I have cobbled together a serviceable frame for the lamp. All we need now are the components I sent you to acquire. Were you successful? Wonderful! I'm confident this lamp will conform to the exact specifications of the lamps they removed, provided Raynor didn't make any miscalculations. So, would this be the time to inform Devaith Fear of our success? Or mine, specifically? Excellent, excellent! No need to return here, of course. Kirith should be back straight away, and I'll have her run the completed lamp over to the locutorium as soon as it's ready. See you soon, assistant.
Nu ska vi väl in där då i vart fall. Ja. Det var allt väl. Det är sorgsen musik i bakgrunden här du. Ska vi då? Vi ska faktiskt dit vi. Springer vi runt här.
I was beginning to worry. Not about you, of course. These apostles have been circling me like cliff racers. Looking for an autograph, no doubt. So tiresome. I take it you were successful in learning about these lights and constructing a new one? Well done. I assume you discovered the special property of these lamps. Why does my dear friend Seal go to such lengths to avoid them? Invisible light? Fascinating. To help with factotum navigation, perhaps? Huh. No matter. Further inquiry must wait. Now is the time for action. I will request a congressional assembly. Plant your lamp on the balcony above, then return to me.
Did you say something about putting the lamp on the balcony? We might have a problem.
Over there.
Raynor and that annoying high elf finished your lamp, but there's a problem. On the way here, I overheard an aide complaining about some new security measures Sotha Seal put in place. Looks like the balcony is under heavy guard now. Looks that way, unless you want blood on your hands, of course. But that might complicate our sponsorship a smidge, yeah? Just be quick and quiet, like me. You'll be fine. Here's the lamp, good luck.
Ja. Då får jag smyga eller döda eller att vi ska göra. Ja, här har vi nu. Det var inga böcker att läsa. Jo, där. Perfekt. Var ska vi då? Vi ska dit, ja. Vi får smyga oss, får vi se. Kommer en vakt visst. Oops. Ja, han såg mig. Det var inte bra. Ja, vi dödar den väl. Så vi är färdiga med det. Vi har sprungit runt här. Så hade vi släppt på Ansetus. Ja, det var ju bara lite pengar som vi må betala kanske om vi åker dit. spelar ingen roll. Vi kan väl lika gärna passa på att läsa så här bokhyllan. Ja, där fick vi en årbok. Har du stjälet till grejer, Dagby? Så vi kan finansiera den här banten vi fick. Kommer han ta oss den vakten där? Nej, det gjorde han inte.
I convinced Sotha Seal that the Congress requires yet another lecture on the sanctity of clockwork automata. He eagerly agreed. Seemed almost giddy about it. It was unsettling. Is all in readiness? Good. Seal's lecture should begin any moment now. Stand ready to activate the lamp. I'm reasonably certain that something will happen, but the specifics elude me. I guess this is what uncertainty feels like. What a novel change of pace.
I will remind you yet again. My beloved factotum serve as an extension of
Ja,
my
vi får springa dit då.
accost them, and you accost me. Know this. Any servant of the clock...
Oj, ja, men nu vart de rädda du. Ja.
Someone seize that imposter!
Ja, men Ghost det vet du. Ja. Ja, vi får springa till. Ska ta bort bantin på mig. Jag har ju sån förresten. Så det ja. Nu var det ingen bant på mig längre. Ja, en liten bossaktig här. Nu är det den.
I am the clockwork god. You will kneel before me. Kneel! Curse you, outsider. I will return.
Det gör det nog säkert det. Ja, vi får springa tillbaka då.
I haven't the time to discuss this, Varuni. Wittingly or unwittingly, Lord Set no longer serves the people of Clockwork City. Now,
Wow,
if you will
that was enlightening.
Gascon,
To think I've been speaking to Sotha Seal's shadow all this time. It seems so lifelike. Far more advanced than my own, I'm sorry to say.
I have urgent matters to attend to.
Fascinating.
Make whatever statement you like.
It
I
really
will...
is too bad we'll all be dead soon. Well, I don't mean to alarm you, but I will be frank. If an imposter sits upon the throne aligned and learns how to wield the power of this place, a cataclysm will follow. We may yet discover a way to avert this disaster, but the chances are slim. Stay with Varuni. With Sotha Seal exposed as an imposter, the Congress will fall into turmoil. In such chaos, dark truths always float to the surface. Pray they do so quickly. I have other inquiries to make. Stay vigilant. We will meet again soon.
My dear Lord Set, what happened to you? I can scarcely believe what we just witnessed. How could the happen? How could a shadow masquerade as Lord Set? The Father of Mysteries would never let such a thing happen. There must be another explanation.
Det är det säkert.
Fear, of course. Always the iconoclast. I'll bet he's snickering at us even now. It doesn't matter. I appreciate your diligence. This has been a profoundly upsetting ordeal, but we must move forward. We must find the real Lord Set. Yes, he was acting strangely, wasn't he? He always chafed under Lord Set's rule. Now he finally has a pretext to seize control, and he slinks away like a broken basilisk. Curious. Too, the real Lord Set will aid us eventually, I know it. In the meantime, we must do for ourselves. Thank you for everything you've done. It appears we'll have to do a lot more before this is through.
Ja, då fick vi en ny armor piece och en ny skill point. Vi completar uppdraget.
Fleeing to his chambers when things go poorly. I'm sure that news of Lord Set's condition has already made it to the streets. We have to move quickly to prevent a panic. Try to talk to Gascoigne. He clearly doesn't care what I have to say, but he might listen to an exodromal. You remain, a novelty. No offense. We can't assemble the Congress without the Chancellor. Check his rectory in the west wing of the Basilica. He hides in there sometimes to nurse a bruised ego or write passive-aggressive memoranda. I'll try to settle the Apostle's nerves. Honestly, my nerves could use some settling. Don't let Gascoigne wriggle out of this. He has a duty and an obligation, as do I. What? Yes, I'll be fine. This makes no sense. I don't understand how a shadow could take Lord Set's place. Maybe this is some sort of test. But why test us? The Clockwork Apostles haven't strayed. We build and pray and experiment just as the holy texts dictate. Compromised? You make it sound as if Lord Set suffers some kind of defect, like a crimped duct or a stripped bolt or something. We're talking about a divine being. Gods can't be compromised. They exist without flaws. Right? Do you know what the sermons say? Complexity belies the truth. The world rests on simple principles. Set is the truth and the light. Understand the simple and you understand the obscure. I do appreciate your candor. Let's pick this up again later.
Ja, då completar vi ett uppdrag och fick ett nytt. Det gjorde vi här. Så då kör vi vidare. Det står om några sopor, vet du. Blir det fint?
Where did you hide it, you worm?
Oj. Jag har varit arg den. Ja. Hon kom smygandes där då. Jag tänkte det var en vän, ja. Det var det, ja men inte. Så kan det gå. Vän eller fiende. Bara traskar rätt in, ja.
There you are. The factotums reported a strange energy signature in Gascoigne's rectory. Did you find anything odd in there? Sounds like a nocturnal shrike. By the gears, how did that thing make it past our security coils? Is Gascoigne... Not suspicious at all, is it? A sudden departure followed by a Daedra attack. You're right. I knew Gascoigne was a conceited sluggard, but consorting with Daedra? I pray it's not true. We need to discover what he has that the Daedra covet. Proctor Luciana might be able to organize a search. She just left to disperse a crowd. I hope you catch Gascoigne soon. We need to know what he knows immediately. Birds? Not that I'm aware of. He might be tinkering with some kind of avian automaton, but he rarely discusses that sort of thing with me. Why do you ask? Wait, feathers? From a live bird? Unprecedented. As far as I know, no living bird has ever set foot or wing in Clockwork City. And even if they did, they wouldn't last long. Not a lot of worms crawling around here. They do eat worms, right? Fascinating. I've always wanted to see one. Under better circumstances, of course. I'll notify our naturalists once we resolve this situation with Gascoigne. I'm afraid not. Gascoigne keeps his own counsel about what he does outside the Basilica. He spent a few days out in the Radius last month, but that's hardly unusual. Apostles conduct research outside the fortress all the time. Mathematics mostly, predictive theory, spherical values, virtuous enumeration, that sort of thing. He just published a dissertation on transdimensional calculation, making inferences on how numbers change during planar travel. Impressive work. The specificity of his calculations just boggles the mind. It's almost as if he had access to a planar rift. Oh no. I don't want to even consider it. Not until we have proof.
Ja, då får jag hitta lite bevis då kanske.
I knew this wouldn't end well.
I'm not here to speculate on Lord Set's whereabouts. I'm here to clear the square.
You don't know, do you? I knew it! This is a disaster!
If you want to panic, do so in your own homes, not in the public square. Now disperse, or be dispersed. Get them moving.
You heard
Bäst de flyttar sig.
Return to your homes.
Han skjuter på mig också.
If you're looking for Lord Set, I don't know where he is. I will find out, though. Count on it. Gascoigne, what has he done now? I can't keep up with the complaints. Good. Maybe a fabricant ate him. Our luck has to change at some point. So, he finally graduated from corrupt hobbyist to professional villain. I'm almost relieved. Now we can finally give him what he deserves. I assume you informed your sponsor, Provost Varuni? A citywide search? I can't spare enough apostles to search a broom closet. Reports are flooding in from the Radius. Stories about fanatics in black robes, pale-skinned Daedra, living shadows. We may have a full-scale invasion on our hands. I have one asset I can spare. I know an artificer, Dalamar. He takes some getting used to, but you won't find a better tinkerer. He can help you find Gascoigne, guaranteed. Go talk to him. He set up shop near the tenements. Slag Town. I knew that slag-addled piece of garbage Gascoigne would turn on us eventually. We should have dealt with this decades ago. I think we should destroy it, if only to convince the people it can be destroyed. I'm already getting reports from citizens convinced that their neighbor or their friend is actually a shadow. Another few weeks of this, it will not end well. I'm prepared to live with that. I made a vow to protect the Clockwork City and its inhabitants. If sacrifices have to be made, we should all be prepared to make them, Lord Set included. You can ask. I have a crank in between my shoulder blades. One of my auxiliaries winds me up every morning before breakfast. That's a joke. In the same way as every other clockwork automata. A combination of engineering and sorcery that would take a century to explain. The machinery keeps me alive. I know it's unsettling to look at, but no one ever said life in Clockwork City was fair. The same as you, I wager. A combination of heroism and coincidence. I served Riemann Cyrodiil as a battle mage during the Akaviri troubles and the Valenwood annexation. Yes, I'm still not exactly sure what happened. During the Valenwood campaign, I locked staves with a wood elf spell leader named Keladith. He was deceptively powerful, wiry, quick as a skeever trap. I remember cleaving his staff with a summoned blade. Possibly. I think he was in the midst of a translocation spell when my sword made impact. There was an explosion and a bright light. When I woke, I was splayed out in the radius. Mangled. Yes, his factotum scooped up what was left of me and brought me here. He mended my wounds and replaced what couldn't be mended with metal. I asked him why. Because one day you will shine a light, he said. And that was that. Always. Take my advice. If we manage to find the real Set, don't expect him to embrace you as a friend. We're all cogs in his eyes. Valuable. Beautiful, even. But ultimately expendable. You either grow to accept that, or you turn out like Gascon. Yes. Bitter. Sullen. Probably traitorous. And, if I get my way, dead.
Ja, då får vi springa dit. Men före vi gör det så ska vi ta det här uppdraget här uppe. Det har vi här. Så får vi se var vi hamnar, eller vad det är. Okej. Vi springer dit. Tar en liten avstickare från main-uppdraget.
And when a customer enters the store, what do we say?
Welcome, citizen.
Good. And when they ask how much something is, what do we say then?
Cease your actions, or you will be taken into custody.
Jag ska tillbaka dit, okej.
Shows balls.
Vi var ju här förut, men vi får göra det igen då kanske.
Hello there. Are you here in response to the bulletin about my factotum research? Fantastic. Now let me fill you in on the details. I found this factotum head in a junk pile, which isn't too uncommon for the Brass Fortress. I was intrigued, however, by its strange coloring. I was even more intrigued when it began to speak to me. It gave a repeated message, requesting to find its integral of memory in the mnemonic planisphere. That's where you come in. I need an adventuring sort to journey to the planisphere in order to find this component. Are you still interested?
Okej, ja visst.
The journey to the mnemonic planisphere is riddled with dangers, so it's best to prepare. Shouldn't be any issues once you head inside, though. My research leads me to believe the integral of memory will resemble a crystal. Would you believe that the apostles don't know how to create factotums? That was a rhetorical question. The sad truth is that while we apostles can create metal limbs and motors, we cannot replicate the intelligence Sotha Seal gave the factotums. We're also unable to enter the factories where they're created. Why does Lord Set do anything? He's the father of mysteries, after all. Through his silence, curiosity is born. Perhaps he meant for us apostles to figure this one out on our own. And I believe I've finally found a breakthrough with this factotum. Firstly, I already know it is an older, simpler model. You can see the dwarven influences in the skull, an aesthetic blight by today's standards. We apostles see dwarves as a race to scorn, not emulate. This model must predate that thinking. Secondly, unlike other factotums, it openly speaks of its components. Trust me, I've interrogated many of these machines in the name of my research. Perhaps as we reconstruct its mind, it will tell us details about its creation. And thirdly, well, its voice. Factotums are genderless machines, of course, but they all sound distinctly female. This one is the first I've met to have a male voice. I'm not sure what it means, but I am sure I'll find answers as I further my research.
Ja. Vi får springa ut igen då. Vi ska dit, okej. Men då teleporterar vi, tror jag. Springer det fiender, vet du. De lyser och letar, vet du. Oj, oj. Här har vi ett uppdrag till som vi tar samtidigt, för det verkar som vi ska ner här. Det uppdraget har vi här utanför. Så vi tar det också.
It's easier to explain once we're inside the mnemonic planisphere. That's where Lord Set stores his memories by... well, it's just easier to show you first. Yes, exactly. You're a quick learner. I need someone who can fight off these cultists and help me return the stars to the planisphere sky. Please, you have to help us. This task is of the most vital importance.
Okay. Spring in då, så får vi se.
Quickly, follow me. The planisphere is right through this door.
Det gör man, tänker jag. Ja, vi får springa in där då.
Astronomer! I found someone who can help us. Are you all right? Please, rest if you need it.
I have maintained these stars for millennia. Do not concern yourself.
Yes, much easier to explain now. This is the mnemonic planisphere, where Sotha sealed memories take the form of stars. We need your help to reclaim the stars that have fallen and place them back in the sky. If not, all shall be lost. All this knowledge! Sotha Seal's memories are our most important source of inspiration, of discovery. Without them, the Clockwork Apostles will be lost, stagnant and unguided. Please, for the sake of our most sacred knowledge, you must help. Thank you for understanding what this means to my order. I need you to gather the primary stars belonging to the points of our constellations. Once enough stars are returned to the rightful place, the rest should fall into ranks. Eventually. With this. Now, this device has a very fancy proper name, but I simply call it the Star Scooper. Use it to gather the stars you see floating around the halls, and bring it back here to the astronomer. He'll know what to do next. Questions? Let's say there's a memory that Lord Set wishes to store. First he turns the memory into a star, which forms in an associated constellation chamber. A powerful spell will form in the Mage's Wing, a great victory in the Warriors. Exactly so. It then travels to the Planisphere Center, where we teach the star its place in the sky. We send it to a forming room if Lord Set wishes to access the memory, or for apostles to study from. Each star has wisdom to share. Well, that would certainly complicate things. Lord Set still remembers, but in a distant way. He can analyze these memories rationally, without their emotional attachments clouding his divine judgment. At least, that's what the astronomer told me. Astronomer is the title given to the caretaker of the planisphere. Astronomer, stars, you know. The current astronomer has been around almost as long as the Clockwork City has. The blessings of a god really can do wonders for your lifespan. Why, I'm his apprentice! Sorry, should have led with that. He only recently chose me as his replacement, though I'm not sure this is a position you can just retire from, if you catch my drift. I suppose even a god's blessing can only last so long. All a matter of perspective here in Clockwork, age and whatnot. I assure you I've always been quite diligent in my studies, and the astronomer says I show promise. Well, I mean, he hasn't outright said that to me, but I just get that feeling. The memories given form. Makes sense, doesn't it? After all, our thoughts are as numerous as the stars in the sky. And they're actually called multiplanar mnemonic receptacles, but I just find stars easier to say. Memories are distracting little things, and Lord Set has more of them than most of us combined. Storing them here allows him to focus his divine intellect on the current task at hand. And the tasks of a god? Very important things. I don't believe they're after memories precisely, but rather information. The planisphere houses much of Sotherseal's most sacred wisdom. Let all that knowledge fall into the wrong hands? I can't even imagine the vile possibilities.
Ja, då får vi springa och fånga lite grejer då. Tydligtvis 3 dörrar här. Så där ska vi fånga en där. Vi får titta runt lite. Där har vi en då. Har vi en här. Ja, det var några fiender ja. Ja, det är samtidigt. En riktig stjärnfångare. Här har vi några. De sniker sig lite grann där. Prövar att komma från Shadow. Men tar han där känner jag.
I can't be with you like this. We're not equals. We never have been.
Ja, det blir galet. Samla ihop dem. Sprang han till hans man. Ett stort område där, okej, ja. Det var väl aldrig det. Vi springer dit, okej, ja. I all världen hackar de på den där. Det var ingen metall. Oj, oj. Vart de sinnar på väl. Vi får springa till det då, så får vi ta dem där. Gömma oss bak ett hörn här så. Då kommer de fram. Vet du. trånga.
You've returned! Quickly now, give the star scooper to the astronomer. You're in for a real treat. Not many get to witness this. Oh dear, that's not good. That's not good at all.
Okay.
Sorry, but I have to go check on something. The astronomer will explain.
Det försvann nog.
6 stars refuse to answer my call, and the primary constellations remain incomplete. Their instability threatens the integrity of the entire planisphere. Unless returned, I fear all memories will be lost, even to the Clockwork God himself. The planisphere was created as an extension of Lord Set's consciousness. Connected, yet apart. An endless sky of divine knowledge, perfectly preserved. We must protect the planisphere at all costs. We must help the stars remember. Memories are fragile, easily broken, easily swayed. My powers of guidance and preservation are not so easily replicated. The cultists seek to control, but only corrupt. I must stay here to keep the constellations stable. It is up to you. Go to the calibration guides located upon the platforms which surround us. Use them to guide the missing stars back to their rightful place in the sky. My apprentice will show you how. I see questions are burning within you. Ask, and I may answer. They seek to control the planisphere, and believe these stars will help them with that task. The corruption is merely a result of trying to view the memory without my aid. Clockwork City was created by a god of reason. Here, knowledge is power. To control the planisphere would be to control the omni-axle, the center of the wheel. The means to change the very reality we know. A dangerous power. I am the astronomer, keeper of the stars. A wheel that ever turns. It goes beyond my own mere flesh. Soon, my apprentice will receive this title, and I will take my final step upon this path. I have upheld this divine task for millennia. My devotion may be unwavering, but my flesh is not. I must give this duty to another before my power fades. Only then will I allow myself to finally rest. Do not let her cheerful demeanor fool you. Her magic is strong, and her connection to the stars is uncommonly clear. Within her, I have found the successor I searched centuries to find. And she takes great pride in that. My apprentice is an oddity among our order, yet refuses to change. A stubbornness that will serve her well, or perhaps be her undoing. We shall see. I know her devotion to be unwavering, for the planisphere would cease to be without an astronomer to guide it. I only have so much power left within me. She will do what is best for her god and her people. In that I have faith.
Det har du säkert tro på. Ja, då springer vi vidare. Ja, vi får bara springa på här så får vi se. Här har vi en liten fin dag. Och en till. Oj, jävlar, jag hugger då. Ja. Inget intressant i de boken i alla fall. Ja, det är 2 vägar att springa. Vi får ta den här först rakt fram.
Your guidance and wisdom.
Va? Går tillbaka?
Here they are. Let me just scoop them up.
Ja, det är väl bäst du gör det kanske.
And now, watch this! Oh, right. They don't know where to go. If you can point out where they're supposed to be on the calibration guide, we can send them on their way.
Mhm.
The stars have forgotten where they belong. Use the calibration guides on the floor to show them where to go. The matching constellation on the planetsphere's sky will show you the way. In the meantime, I'll continue to keep the star stable. This is a rather tricky process. The stars are fragile things, easily overwritten by stray thoughts and memories. All my concentration is needed to keep my mind clear. The astronomer's much better at this than I am, but I'm what you have.
Mhm.
He has to concentrate on keeping the planetsphere's constellation stable. They're susceptible to breaking apart again in their incomplete state. Not only that, but I'd rather keep him from any strenuous activity. Wouldn't want him to break a hip.
Ja, jag får väl använda det teleskopet kanske då. Okej. Jaha, ja. Jag förstår att det...
The stars have forgotten where they belong. Use the calibration guide.
Ja, men jag gjorde ju det. Okej, sån ja. Okej.
Try to think of where the stars in the constellations aren't, not where they are. That's where you want to direct the corrupted stars to.
Nej, det var ett fel det.
Expertly done. Now, the Star Scooper kept a record of what was inside those stars. Let's have a look, shall we? A fragment in memory of Lord Set speaking to someone. This must have been what the cultists were looking for.
Stewardship of my memories carries a high price, Olvas. One that you must pay willingly.
Wait, was that the astronomer? He was so young! And with hair! Not half bad looking either.
Ja, då får vi springa tillbaka då. Spring in till Dandera då. Ja. Oj, ja mig. Det vart hans hinnare. Det var inte en lapp vi kan läsa. Då borde det vara den då. Och så den här. Sån var det, vet du.
It appears as though we make a rather good team.
So be it. I'll leave you the knowledge of this spell to bestow upon your successor when the time comes.
Maybe the cultists want to learn how to perform the spell.
Då förstod jag hur man skulle göra. Då var det ner till sista då. Då har vi 2 uppdrag här då.
How may I serve you today, Lord Sothasil? Do you need your clothes washed? Your hair...
Här har vi den andra grejen som vi skulle fixa åt andra typen, tror jag. Ta med den där. Så går vi upp. Boklös kanske? Nej. En papperslapp. Bara skräp. Då ska vi se. Då är den till höger. Ja, den ena ska vara där. Det måste bli den där.
The corrupted stars aren't currently in the constellation, so the spaces where they should be are dark. Those are the points we need to guide them.
Ja, vi vet att det ska vara mörk. Jag trodde det var den då. Den är då. Nu ska vi vara den.
You have to be careful with these. It's easy to overwrite the memories with your own.
Of course, my lord, but will it hurt?
You will not remember.
That doesn't sound very good. What happened in this memory? We've collected all the memory fragments we need. Let's head back to the Planisphere Center so we can watch the whole thing.
Mm. Ingenting där.
You wish me to go to this location, Lord Sophasil? I would be happy to. It should only take a few years to walk there.
Nu får vi se vad han säger.
Now that we've returned the stars and recovered the memory fragments, the astronomer can use the nemograph here to play the full memory back. I'm rather curious about its contents. We need to be able to reform memories at a moment's notice. After all, apostles often travel from the Brass Fortress to research Lord Set's thoughts. This nemograph translates the starlight into a visual form. I just know it's him. It looks like he's receiving some sort of boon from Lord Set, but I don't understand why that would be important to the cultists. I doubt you can easily replicate the powers of a god, even with the memory of the spell.
Stewardship of my memories carries a high price, all of us. One that you must pay willingly.
I understand. I'd sacrifice anything to serve you, my lord. Even my memory.
Wait, the
So be
sacrifice
it.
is his
I'll
memory?
leave you the knowledge of this spell to bestow upon your successor when the time comes.
Of course, my lord, but will it hurt?
You will not remember.
No, it can't be.
Now you know the truth. It is time.
You never told me of this sacrifice. My life, yes, I'll give it. But my mind, my whole being.
Speak with her.
Ja, vi får springa och prata med henne då.
I know my duty. My whole life has been devoted to this path laid before me. I know the risks. The repercussions to the planisphere should I refuse. The repercussions to my god. Why then? Why am I so scared? Manipulating the stars requires severe concentration. They're easily corrupted by stray thoughts, rendering them useless. Not having a memory must help ease that burden. The excitement of becoming an apostle, my frustration when so many doubted me, how nervous I was for my first kiss. To give it all away, I would lose more than my memories. I would lose myself. I know the astronomer's power is fading. I feel it. He needs to transfer his power, and soon. If he dies before another apprentice could be found, the planisphere needs me. My god needs me. Can I really be so selfish?
Ja. Ja, hon får tro på sig
You're
själv.
right. It's too late to turn back now. People depend on me. My god depends on me. Would you come with me? I may not remember you being there, but it would be a comfort all the same. I've decided. I will become the next astronomer. I give myself willingly to serve the chrononymic will as it has seen fit.
So be it. I'll start the process now. Take care of the planisphere. And yourself as well, Amelie.
You remembered my...
I can finally rest.
Ja, där försvann han och tappade minne.
What was I... Oh, a visitor.
Ja.
The mnemonic planisphere welcomes you, traveler. Due to the recent attack, we are not holding memory viewings. You'll have to return at another time. How strange. I feel a sense of gratitude towards you, though I'm not sure why. Ah, so you have. You have the gratitude of the Clockwork Apostles. Now, if you'll excuse me, I must inspect the memories to see if they were damaged by the attack. You would be surprised how fragile they can be.
Ja, det var lite shock damage och grejer. Ja, då fick vi en ny armorbete.
I thank you once more for aiding us in our time of need. May your thoughts be clear and your heart ever oiled. I know we haven't met before, but I feel a sense of familiarity with you. Odd how you sometimes get that feeling with strangers. The cultists have corrupted many stars in their search for control. I need time to restore the memories and guide them to their proper place in the planisphere sky. Hopefully, it shall not take me too long. There's not much I can do at the moment. My focus must go towards tending to the corrupted stars and protecting the planisphere from further damage. Until the integrity of these sacred halls are upheld, the cultists will just have to wait.
Ja, då completar vi ett uppdrag här. Så då får vi resa till nästa. Ska vi tillbaka till stan. Ja, då springer vi och lämnar in det nästa uppdrag. Vi ska upp, vet du.
All right, you pile of bolts. Let's run through it one more time.
What am I running through?
Inventory, of course.
Understood. I will run through the inventory.
Solving God take me now.
Integral of memory detected. Would you be so kind as to insert it into my...
You've returned in one piece. How gleaming! In your absence, I've set up a framework to contain the factotum while we assemble its parts. I'll have you do the honors of installing the integral of memory. You heard the head? Insert the crystal into its forehead ridge. And don't worry, you won't break it. Sotha Seal builds his creations to last.
Ja, vi får stoppa in den här då.
The furthest slot to the left, please. Your left, not mine. Reflecting. Reflecting. Oh, I feel positively spring-loaded now. What a kind, generous apostle you are, which I recall is rather strange. Reflecting. Reflecting. I've come to the conclusion that I am. I have no memory stored of any of my kind who are older, so I conclude that I must be the first. How gleaming. I cannot recall my name, but you may call me Precursor. Of course, let me check my integral of memory. Should be right. Great Sotha Seal in the sanctum. Someone's tampered with my crystalline memory matrix. But wait, something's burned in here. I seem to have left a note for myself. Ahem. Salutations, me. By now you must be wondering what happened to our memory. Dark forces have conspired to corrupt our knowledge of the world. But do not fear. I, the past you, have stored our memory in our other parts. A circumstance I have not accounted for. This is me now, not the message. I recall that my design includes both Dwemer and Clockwork parts. I also recall my blueprint, so I can guide my assembly once you find my parts. Sotha Seal guide you, Apostle. I don't quite understand. I function only to know my Lord Sotha Seal and his apostles. You are not my lord, and thus you must be an apostle. Simple. Do you have an inquiry, or perhaps a task for me, Apostle?
Ja, då fick vi en del där.
Astounding! The first factotum Sotha Seal created. We simply must complete construction now. The more memory it recalls, the further my research can develop. Council seat, here I come! The precursor mentioned he was made of Clockwork and Dwemer parts. I'd keep an eye out for the former as you travel around Clockwork City, and search Dwemer ruins out in Tamriel for the latter. And of course, I have your reward as promised.
Apostle, I have remembered something. Come quickly before it rusts.
Då kompletar vi ett uppdrag till. Här. Då får vi se om vi kan finna fler delar till den här sen då. Sätt in dem. Ja, då kör vi på vidare. Med main-uppdraget.
All right, you pile of bolts. Let's run through it one more time.
What am I running to?
Inventory, of course.
Understood. I will run through the inventory.
Solving God take me now.
How dare you, Khaled? Your mother wanted a better future for you.
Because of factotum, the reason...
Looking for a harvester with some guts.
Do you really believe that?
Ja, då är vi framme med main-uppdraget här. Men vi fortsätter med det i nästa avsnitt. Glöm inte att trycka prenumerera och en tumme upp om du gillar videon, så kommer det fler snart. Hej!